But with Trials note, we actually have a question today. We have a question from our old friend Willow.
Willow!
I'd love to hear any Trials... Hello, Willow. Yes. I'd like to hear any Trials feedback from y'all and the upcoming changes to Trials addressed in the TWAB today. You are in luck because we're going to go straight to the TWAB.
The TWAB!
Right now. And this is literally all that is in the TWAB this week. Is pretty much, they talk about Aegir Scepter a little bit. There's a roadmap. We're going to come back to the roadmap. We're going to circle back. But Trials of Osiris. So the stats that we had, 750,000 players played Trials. 120,000 of those were first-time ever players. Corey, I believe this is your first time in D2 Trials.
Yes.
Or at least in this incarnation of Trials.
I played Trials of the Nine when it first came out, for 2 weekends, and I was like, I'm out. So this is the first.
Another 470,000. This was their first time they had played in a while. They hadn't played recently. I take that to mean it's been a couple of months.
Yeah.
So out of that, almost 600,000 are people who don't regularly engage with Trials. This is the healthiest the playlist has ever been. Crossplay is alive and well. 237,000 went flawless, with 105,000 going flawless for the first time. An average of 30% of the active player base played Trials each day this weekend, topping at 32% on Saturday. No day prior had ever gone above 21%. 2.8 million hours of Trials were played, eclipsing the highest prior single week by a whopping 600,000 hours. Insane. Absolutely insane. Here are the changes that they are going to launch live when you're listening to this. Unless you're watching us live tonight, in which case I love you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
These are changes that are going live on Friday the 17th. We aren't satisfied with the matchmaking experience for players after 7 wins. Thank you. I heard this a lot from our friends Nerd Generalist. I heard it from Colonel Panic. Heard it from John. Heard it from Max. Heard it from a lot of people this weekend who managed to get the 7 wins. It fucking sucks after 7 wins. Because you get golf balls, you get prisms, things like that for winning at that rate, but it's so hard to do it. You're usually getting stomped 5-0 by gilded flawless teams, right? There is a flawless matchmaking pool that will go live Friday afternoon, which basically means if you've gone flawless in a weekend, that's it. You're done. You're now in that pool, which I've already seen some early feedback. There's already some people upset about this, and I don't blame them. This makes it a lot harder to do flawless carries. This makes it harder for us to shepherd people to the lighthouse. And I agree with that. I do think that that's going to present a unique challenge. But I think for the vast, overwhelming majority of us, this is going to be an extremely welcome change. Because, let me tell you, nothing is worse than being on your second or third, trying to get your second or third win, and you get stomped by somebody who's already gone flawless that week, and they've got the glowing armor and everything. There is no worse feeling in this game than that. It can be discouraging even with the new loadouts. Like I wasn't as upset as I used to be in the past seeing that, but after you've been having that for 18 months, it's still discouraging to see it, even knowing that there's no new loot, new reward systems, etc. I'm glad they're addressing this right off the bat. This feels like it was a change that was really easy to do, and I like this. So we're also not happy with the experience of players who have a bad streak of getting repeatedly thrashed 5-0, so we are enabling matchmaking help if someone runs into several blowout matches. Thank you. On behalf of me, thank you. This temporary help mechanic clears up once they start winning again, so don't think someone will cheese a flawless by tanking for a few games, then have a weekend of smooth sailing. And lastly, this was my big one, because I had Joe and I had this happen to us a few times. Even on Tuesday morning, we had this happen a couple times. We are enabling quitter penalties that we use in Glory playlists, giving you a 30-minute timeout if you quit out of too many games. We're going to be watching this and have harsher plans if players continue to abandon their fire teams. Good. I cannot tell. We had several third people drop. And I mean, even one of the teams we were playing against had a guy who quit out when he realized we were up like 4-2. He quit out. That's pretty shitty. If you're going into an in-game mode like this, there needs to be a penalty. Like if it's a network connection, and I really hope they have something that, if your internet, like my internet likes to give out when I'm streaming Destiny, for example, only when I'm streaming, or when I'm trying to do something on like day one, when I'm trying to do like a weekend one raid, my internet likes to drop like crazy. Destiny's the only game it does it in, but it likes to do that. I hope there's something on the back end that says, oh, this was due to a network error and not because the person just flat out quit out of the game.
Right.
Or went to orbit. Like, I hope there is something there, like, oh, they had a hard crash. They had contacting servers, something like that. Like, I hope there is something to distinguish on that, because I've been punished in Gambit, for example, on that. That's why I'm really playing Gambit like the first week or two of a season or an expansion, because I know I'm going to get kicked at some point, and I don't want to get those penalties. Next weekend, though. So next week, they're already planning another fix for the 24th. First ever Trials Labs Capture Zone Trials. I'm very excited to see how that works. We will be disabling special ammo replenishment on Revive. You'll still get special ammo if you kill somebody or when you start the next round. So no more, if you get revived, you won't have 2 rounds in the shotgun chamber. I think this can make you play a lot smarter. Like, you have to think about your loadouts a little bit more, I think, with this. We are also disabling, and I love this right here. We are disabling the matchmaking counter on the Trials lobby, so you won't be able to tell how many players have joined, but will still be told when they join. We've also fixed an issue preventing you. We will also fix an issue preventing you from being able to masterwork weapons from Saint 14's rank rewards. I love this. The concern with matchmaking was, oh, well, if you're a 3-stack and you see, like people loading in, it was like, oh, I'm just going to jump straight in there. Or if you were a solo and you saw like all of a sudden 3 people join, it was like, oh shit, I got to back out. Yeah. I don't want to fight a 3-stack. Or 3-stacks looking for players that aren't playing together.
Right.
That are already like, double gilded flawless or whatever.
Right.
Like, that's not fun for any of us. Like, go off in your own loot pool. Like, holy shit, just go.
Yeah.
I like all of it. These are all good changes.
Great changes.
I do wonder how much we're going to have to walk back we're going to put you into a separate pool once you've hit flawless for the weekend. I do wonder if that's going to have to be walked back at some point.
Yeah.
Because I do think that that's a good point being made, but I think that's such a small percentage of the player base that I don't know if that's really going to affect Bungie too much.
Yeah.
I think right now they're going to be like, all right, like they've always told us, like, let's see how these changes feel after a couple weeks, and then we can revisit it if we need to. Like, we have 6 months here to work on this before the Witch Queen comes out. Like, that's why they're doing Trials Labs. We're bringing Crucible Labs back for Trials. That's why we're working on things here. I hope that we eventually see that with Iron Banner. I've mentioned before, like, I want to see Rift. I want Mayhem. I want Supremacy. I don't want Showdown. Like, I want
Supremacy. Supremacy would be cool.
Like, these are all modes that we had Iron Banner with in Destiny 1. I want Momentum Control Iron Banner. Like, I want SWAT Iron Banner.
God, SWAT Iron Banner would be awesome.
There are so many things you can do here. I'm so tired of Control after 4 years. 4 years of Control is 4 years too many. I was over it when Shadow started. I'm just apathetic now. I just do it because I'm a glutton for punishment.
I feel like, as much as I like Control, don't get me wrong, I think Control is a great mode for Destiny specifically. But, like, I feel like if you're one of your top tier competitive modes, if you're really serious about making Iron Banner a competitive mode, a real competitive mode, not just saying it's a competitive mode, which is what it feels like sometimes, like, you gotta do a different game mode. You gotta make it feel more competitive, right? Like, you just have, like, Control doesn't feel competitive, It just doesn't. I'm sorry. At least to me, like, it just doesn't feel like a competitive mode for PvP, So, I don't know. That's just me. Am I wrong here? I don't know.
No, I mean, I really like Iron Banner Control. I think the whole locking out on zones, I think that's great. I love it. I wish it did it in regular Control occasionally, but I understand you need something better or more unique in Iron Banner. And I don't know how you update those other modes to work in Iron Banner either, right? But I think there's a lot of opportunity there, like, just to experiment with something. Like, if it doesn't land, okay, have Control waiting in the wings. You can just enable it for the rest of the season. And you can go back to the drawing board with it. But I think Iron Banner needs a lot of love. It got some great stuff in the form of its freelance playlist. And I mean, we were all saying after that, like, hey, it works here. That's easily the best experience in Iron Banner if you don't have a stack to run with. Give us that in trials, and they're doing it now. And I'm in the player pool now that is saying, all right, that's it. Give me matchmaking for everything now. Let's do it. Give me matchmaking for just about everything, because if we can succeed and get people flawless in the Lighthouse, matchmaking with random people, if we can get them through the Glory playlist, if we can get them into Iron Banner having a good time, there's no reason we can't have it for Master Nightfalls, for Grandmasters, I would say for Grandmasters, and for Dungeons. I still think Raids may be the one tricky one.
Yeah, I still think
others, I see no reason why you can't do it.
I mean, I feel like it's harder for raids just because like it does require so much communicate. Like it requires so much communication. I mean, dungeons requires communication, but usually it's the same mechanic through the entire dungeon, right? Because I mean, I like I said at the top of the show, I did Prophecy for the first time the last couple of weeks, and I ran it like 3 or 4 times, and it's great. But that mechanic where you dunk the moats it's the mechanic for the dungeon, right? Like you just keep doing it. And like, there's an evolution of it throughout the dungeon, but it's still the same thing. Whereas raids, like every encounter has a different, maybe there's like an evolution of it when you get to the final room, but like each encounter is
usually
different.
Not.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of room for improvement, right? And I like that, again, like I just keep coming back to this. I can't believe that we're holding up Trials as the example of what Endgame and Destiny should be like in terms of rewards and everything. I mean, we saw it with the raids, with the spoil system.
In a way, you should look at Trials because it's like the premier PvP mode. It's been their premier mode since D1, right? Like it's like
right. It's largely been a joke for the last 5 years.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Trials of the Nine. Let's not pretend that Trials of the Nine was anything particularly special. And then Trials of Osiris. I mean, like some of us tried to will it into existence, but I mean, it wasn't until you started giving us the pity bounty that we would even be like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go suffer through it now. Like, I love that people can go in and like, oh, I haven't unlocked all the armor. Cool. Like, I'm gonna use some of my early unlocks to just get that armor in my loot pool and go transmog a few pieces. Like, that's awesome. Like, I sat here and beat my head against the wall to get the helmet and the chest piece, in separate weeks. But I'm glad that everyone can have that chance now. Again, like, let me earn that D1 Trials armor again, baby. Bring it back. We have Ingram focusing now.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a limit to how much you can put into those Ingrams too. Which is why, like, I think if you have a whole set of armor and you have like 8 weapons, for example, I think that's a great pool you can let people pull from. Especially in a mode like Iron Banner, where there's several good weapons in Iron Banner. There's great weapons in all of the playlists now, I would argue.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want to do that? I mean, like, I know people are still running bottom dollar from Gambit. Like, let them curate it for bottom. Like, I probably wouldn't give a shit in Gambit right now with the current loot pool in terms of, I'm going to go focus Gambit Ingrams. But, I mean, people, they like Survivor's Epitaph over in the Crucible. You like that. You like, I like Third Axiom a lot. In the Vanguard. I would love to be able to go say, Adepts, I don't know, Plug 1 is up this week. If you've earned it before, you can go get it from those Vanguard Ingrams. I would play so many strikes to get guaranteed shots at a god roll of that. To just earn Vanguard Ingrams and be able to do it. I would play so many strikes then.
Yeah.
Because you're still getting the chance in the playlist activity, which I think is key. And, like, they didn't take that away in Trials either. Like, there's still rewards for 3, 5, 7, and Flawless. You just don't have a pity bounty to get you that 3-win thing anymore. It's never been easier to get 3 wins because it's just 3 wins in a weekend. It's not in a row anymore.
Yeah.
It is such a good feeling, though. Like, I'm going to keep gushing about it because this is what Trials needed from the beginning. It may have taken us a lot longer than we wanted to get there. Like, I would have preferred that this realization would have happened, like, at the end of last summer.
Yeah.
And we could have had this implemented maybe by spring. Like, the time that we were finding out that these changes were coming back in February with the state of the game is honestly probably when these should have been getting enacted. Let's be totally frank.
Yeah.
But this is continuing on a path of updating this game in a way that a lot of us have been calling for a very long time, we finally have PvE where we want it. Like, the story is consistently great. The rewards are great. We've got new weapons every season and every playlist activity. And Nightfalls, like, that's how you're bringing back D1 weapons now. The Iron Banner loot pool is getting better and better. I would say, you know, Crucible weapons are dropping good. Gambit weapons are dropping good. We finally have fixed trials. Like, raids. God, I love the raid chest at the end where it rewards people who want to raid all the time, who want to go get those spoils every week. It rewards you for doing multiple runs on one character.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. Like, it's great for me. Like, I don't feel the need to run it on another character now unless we're all trying to go for certain triumphs for a seal or something. Because now I can stock... or Vex, yeah. I mean, it feels really good not to worry about Vex or Eyes anymore. To be able to go in and help get people through, but like as a Sherpa, I'm still getting spoils. I'm still getting those rewards. And I can go buy whatever I want if I'm chasing a specific role. Like, it's become a joke in our raid group, but I still don't have, after 22 clears, still have never gotten commemoration to drop from Taniks at the end of Deepstone. Mm-hmm. Still do not have the LMG. Still don't have it. I got Eyes before I got the legendary LMG from the final encounter.
Yeah, well, you know.
I still don't have the Cloak or Praedyth's Revenge from Vault. I've cleared that about 15 times now. Like,
yeah,
I would love to get those. Once I get a good Praedyth's, I'm probably done with Vault. And that's not even like a meme. Like, the time lost versions, like, I like that they're there. They don't really do anything for me though. You know?
What do they actually? What do the time lost versions actually do? Are they like the
They're
raid
basically
adept?
They're the adept version.
Okay.
Yeah, they're adept versions. It's just their name for them.
Yeah.
And like, I like that. I think that's cool. There's certain mods that can I don't believe mods drop from Master Vogue. I believe they still only drop from the Flawless Chest or from GM Nightfalls. I look at this and I go, man, I think loot rewards are overall in such a good place right now. There are obviously some changes that need to be made with the Umbral model, particularly the Tier 3 focusing this season. It was bugged. I was really happy about that. I know Paul Tassi was really happy about it. And then they fixed it. There was no need to fix it. What the hell else am I going to spend all this currency on?
Right.
I have every upgrade except for the last 2 things on the fucking compass, and that's because those are time gated.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Let me enjoy some of these double perk weapons. You know, give me double perks in columns 3 and 4 instead of just in 4. Like, give me those extra perks, man. If I want to blow 600 fractaline on each one, let me do it. I don't understand it. Like, the currency is so readily available. Please let me spend it on something. I'm begging you. I spent like 2,400 this afternoon, and I had it back like within an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I did so many strikes, but I don't know. Like, I guess just to kind of like, I know we keep getting off track, but to wrap up Trials thoughts, like, it's in a great place. I look forward to getting to spend the whole weekend with it this coming weekend. I plan on playing a lot of it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. For once, playing on Monday or Tuesday did not just result in there only being flawless sweats on.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of nice playing in the morning on Tuesday. That being said, I'll probably be trying to get most of mine in on Friday afternoon. That seems to still be the most chill time. Friday afternoon or like Sunday afternoons when people are watching football seem to be like kind of the 2 good times right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to getting some Shayura's Wraths this weekend. Like, I have a couple Reed's Regrets I'm happy with. I'd still like Triple Tap Vorpal, but I really want a good Shayura's. I still haven't gotten a really good roll on that yet. It's great. It's great. If you want to add, I do think that you're going to have to add more than one new weapon to the Trials pool each season, though, or you're going to have to rotate the older weapons back in, just to dilute that a little bit, because I am going to get to a point with Trials rewards where I'm like, well, I have the God rolls and stuff because I've been banging my dick against the wall for so long in this game mode that I inevitably got some decent rolls on some of these guns. Like, I just don't care anymore. Like, if I go flawless, cool. Like, if that ever happens, awesome. If that happens, I'm spending every single bit of Glimmer I have that weekend to buy every single Adept gun I possibly can. I'm buying like 6 rolls, even if I get a god roll on my first one, just to say I did it. I was able to do it.
Yeah.
Corey, any closing thoughts on the Trials revamp? Trials rework?
No, I think it's great. I like it. I'm going to play some.
He likes it. That's right. You heard it, people. You heard it here first. He likes it.
It's good. Quote that. Box quote.
Box quote right there. It works. That's the Todd Howard quote, isn't it? It just works.
Yeah, I think so. Isn't that the meme?
Yeah, it is. There's really nothing else in the TWAB this week. We've got some hotfix stuff, which we're gonna run over very quickly. There's a couple highlights there that I want to talk about. There's a couple stats given at the bottom. There's 2 lifetime stats and there's 2 year-long stats. Total Guardians that have played Destiny, 187 million. And 9.8 billion hours played in-game.
Wow.
That is wild. That's wild. In 7 years, that's what we've gotten.
Mm-hmm. That's
absolutely, that blows my mind.
It's a lot of hours.
That is a lot of hours. And then in the last year, 2 million Atheon defeats in the Vault of Glass and 3.5 million Taniks eliminations in Deepstone Crypt. I think that's just because Deepstone's been out so much longer than Vault by about 7 months, 6.5, 7 months, somewhere in there. Vault's only been out since end of May. Like, that's kind of wild. I think that shows that if you make a raid free to play, it's going to inevitably get more interaction than if you have to own an expansion or have it on Game Pass. Mm-hmm. But I still like the idea of you have to keep something behind the paywall, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that both raids aren't if it's a reprised raid, it shouldn't be behind there. But if it's brand new, it should absolutely be behind it.
Yeah, that was my thought. I was on that.
Let's hotfix.
Hotfix.
They have fixed the issues regarding. I'm just going to go over a couple real quickly. Worm God Crests and Radiant Dance Machines have been resolved, and they have been re-enabled in all activities. Increase the effect of both the impact and detonation of explosive light on rocket launchers to increase damage by 25%. Fix an issue where Danger Zone was not functioning properly on rocket launchers. There is a preemptive fix, apparently, because we kind of know what the catalyst for Aegir Scepter does starting when you can unlock it next week, which is if you have a full super, you can actually drain your super to get extra firepower on the Scepter. Fixed an issue with Aegir Scepter where a player's super wouldn't drain while in empowered mode.
Wow.
Fixed an issue where a Gilding Triumph could be completed before the base title seal was claimed. And fixed an issue where the Wyvern precision kill objective was not progressing as intended for the Deadeye seal. As soon as I saw they fixed that, I had it, no joke, about 10 minutes later. I had so many precision kills on Wyverns over the last couple of weeks, and I was trying to figure out why it wouldn't work. I had completely missed that seal was bugged, and I was just going nuts. So that's kind of cool. The Strike Streak is fixed finally. Where strike streaks were not rewarded after completing a strike if the player joined a strike in progress or if the player was pulled forward. Players should once again not be able to reset their reputation if they have not picked up all rank reward items. A quality of life improvement for rank resetting is coming later this season. Kind of interested to see what that means. I think that means maybe you don't have to pick everything up to reset. I know I run out of room for golf balls and for enhancement prisms. So kind of interested to see what they do on that one. And then there's a few specific changes to a few strikes that were holding people up. Yeah, I think that's probably about it. Increased score target for Iron Banner control from 125 to 150, matching base control, and adjusted the mercy thresholds in Iron Banner to reduce the number of games that end shortly before they reach the score target. So I'm okay with all this. These are changes that need to happen. That was a hotfix that deployed today. Of course, we've got the Trials fix going live Friday morning, and then another one next Friday as well. I like that we're preemptively fixing things, though.
Yeah.
We're not waiting for the player base to scream about it. It's like, nope, we noticed it from playing it on the first day. Something needed to change. Thank God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There